Hi,
bitches. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome, everybody. We are currently on our finale of It All Comes Back to You by Beth Duke. And what do you know? We've got her with us tonight. Welcome, Beth.
Hi,
Yes.
Thank you so much.
We are insanely excited. So if we just are embarrassing, just let it go.
Yeah. No, like I've been geeking out all day.
Aw.
All day. We have been so excited. It's like, like a holiday was coming.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all
This
are
is
so
Christmas
sweet.
for Adriana.
Oh, yes. Better than Christmas, and that's saying a lot.
Hi, ladies. Hi, Rebecca, Ashley, Lori. Welcome. So, oh my goodness, we have a lot we want to get through today. I know that everyone else is going to have a million questions for you. We'll obviously try to get through as many as we can. We all have questions. We have some games. We'll have some fun. We'll just kind of see how everything goes, right?
This is so exciting.
Yeah. Okay. So we all just completed this week. We all finished your book. It All Comes Back to You. Wow, I ugly cried.
Oh,
In front of the family. And I was like, forget it. I'm reading in front of the family, and I was like, my husband was like, wow, what is going on? I was like, you don't even know. Oh my goodness, it was good.
such an incredible book, Beth. So, I mean, like, this was obviously my pick. And so we have a pre-reader that helps us to read the book beforehand so that we can all read and enjoy with our readers through the month. And that's how we can put together our boxes. And I mean, it just surpassed my expectations. And I was so happy every week when people were just like, I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to put it down. Like, we could have finished this book in 2 weeks easy, if not sooner. But we just stretched it out for the time that we needed. But great job.
Oh, thank you so much. That means the world to me when you enjoy my books. I'm so grateful. This is what it's all about for me. Any writer worth her salt will tell you she writes because she wants people to enjoy it and treasure those books. So I really appreciate that. I'm very grateful that you enjoyed it so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this one was an absolute treasure and a complete surprise to all of us. I mean, each of us choose very different books when it's our month to choose. And honestly, Adrienne, I swear, picks all the best ones, but they're always ones that just really sneak up on you and, you know, they surprise you. And this one was that from the get-go. This one surprised me. I was so invested. Like she said, we could have finished this probably in a week. And I'm not a fast reader. I'm very slow. So being in a book club that spreads each book out across a month is easier for me. This one I could have easily handled in a week. It was just...
Same thing happened to me. I was reading one evening, and then it got late, really late, like 2 a.m. I was like, I really need to go to sleep. I woke up ready to read, and then the next chapter was the chapter we were supposed to read the following week. So I was just upset that I was like, oh, I can't read anymore.
Are you really not allowed to go forward? You have to stay to the chapter.
We tried to, but I will admit now that the book is over, I read ahead. I could not put it down, and I will not apologize for that.
I tried not to, just to keep with the shock value, or to be shocked with everybody else, and otherwise I might get confused and slip and give spoilers.
So like before our meeting, I would have to kind of go back and see the last chapter to make sure I don't say anything of what's going to happen next. But oh my God, it was so good. But I had an excuse, Beth, because it was my book and I needed to know what ideas for a raffle item. And so I used that.
Right. Yeah.
That's an excellent excuse.
Excuses. Yeah.
Speaking of raffle item, do you want to share with her?
Yes. So you obviously seen the box that we put together for your book. And I'm so happy that you were happy with everything that we chose to theme it. We also do 2 raffles a month. Every other week, we do a drawing of everybody who comes on our live stream and participates in the discussions. So the first raffle, Dominique's going to throw it up. We did a cookbook from the Whistle Stop Cafe, which was from Fried Green Tomato, so the Southern theme. And that mason jar, those are measuring cups. And then, isn't that cute? And then we did a little dish towel that says "Love Grows Here." It kind of has the whole flower theme. I thought that was really cute. And our second one, since it was towards the end of the book, we just raffled this off last week. This pays tribute to the soda fountain that they put into the retirement center in memory of Violet, so they can make their own little soda floats, Coke floats. There's a gift card to buy some ice cream and some vintage Coke glasses, and I thought that was really fun.
Y'all are just too much. This is amazing. I mean, I have met with book groups for years now, and I've never seen anyone with this level of, I want to say, professionalism, because you've elevated this to a whole new level. I'm really, truly impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Obviously, we're going to be like all teeth tonight.
Oh yeah, this hurts.
It hurts already. Oh my goodness. We love it. We love everyone who is a part of our book club. You know, we started off, the four of us, just doing it over probably 3 or so months during the summer, 3 or 4 months, where we started reading all just us together and making little boxes for each other. And then Desiree shared it in a group for the month we were reading The Handmaid's Tale. And everyone was like, oh my God, I want to join. How do I get these boxes? And so that was when we kind of like opened it up to everyone. And since then we've been, you know, each one of us pick a book a month, and we have everybody join us live on Sundays, you know, interacting with us kind of throughout the week. And then we do the fun raffles. And oh man, it's just been so exciting. And it's been such a fun community of women that honestly, I don't see how we're ever gonna let it go.
That's wonderful. I am just totally impressed by you.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying that either. I meet with book groups all the time. I tell them, "Oh, you guys are great. You're the best." But this is very special.
That means a lot to us.
It's been fun. We're super lucky.
Yeah, you have a great. And the boxes, again, I think are just a brilliant idea. We've had people craft cocktails to go with the book. We've had people put together gift baskets for women's shelters. We've had all kind of things go on, but I've never seen a swag box for the book. And I just think that's incredible. And quickly, before we move on, what do you put in a box for The Handmaid's Tale?
Ooh.
Do we have a photo?
Was a genius for this one. She's a genius, Desiree. She kind of started it off where everyone got excited. She posted it in like the television show's like fan club.
Oh, wow.
Like, let me in your book club. And we were like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, we're like, wow, like we might actually have something here.
Oh, can't wait.
Des, are you in PR or advertising?
Right.
No, I do have a small like home business, but it's just sewing. That's all I do. We're just all of us are pretty crafty, and it was my pick, and I was like, I want to do something really, really fun, and so that's what I did.
Oh, that is so cool.
So she made those masks, and then she had a girlfriend do the shirts and the tumbler, and then she did a custom bookmark. And so every box we do a custom bookmark to the book, some type of writing pad, and then like a pen. And then after that, we just get creative with our items. But that's how it started. She wanted to just do a fun little gift to us to celebrate the book that we were reading. And when everyone got excited about it, we're like, wow, like we may really have something here. And we just ran with it.
Yes, Lori jumped on it right away. She's like, let me in. I'm buying it right now. I'm not kidding. It was so funny. She's like, where do I send my money? It was the cutest thing. And I was like, Des, you got to do this. We got to do this.
Yeah. It's really brilliant. I'm not just blowing smoke at you. It is brilliant.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, she did an amazing job. So we're just super excited that we get to keep doing it. We're also lucky that we have the pre-reader. My mom, Desiree's mom, is the one who's our pre-reader, and she reads all of our books ahead, gives us as many notes as she can without giving away any of the story. It's insane.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we all get together and put up our box ideas, items, and then, whoever creates the box kind of puts it together. And then most of the time, the rest of us are surprised about what is in the box. So that's kind of fun too.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's been crazy and fun, and obviously we're just delighted to be able to keep doing it, and that we get to have you here with us.
Yes. Now, before we do move on, do we have a photo of our calendar for this month?
I don't know if we have it loaded up.
Okay.
I think we've just shown it.
So we made a calendar, and our calendar was, it's up for purchase. And what we did was every month, if you wanted to know what we're reading ahead of time, you buy the calendar, and this is our cover, and we can see it. Okay. So there's our cover. We're actually at a bookstore in LA called The Last Bookstore. It's a really cute bookstore. And so every month, the photo for the month is themed to the book that we're reading. And then it will tell you on here what chapters that you read for the week. So it keeps everybody on point. So to show you, this was our picture for your book. Tasha aged herself, and I'm there as if I'm Ronnie, kind of getting your life story.
You guys do too much.
And you can see our little kids here in the background, and she made it look like just a beautiful garden. So that's kind of like, I'm getting the story to write the book of your life.
Yeah. But all of the flowers, all of the trees, all of the plants are Alabama natives. So we tried very hard.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I have a gallery. We have a gallery on my website called The Most Beautiful Readers in the World. And I usually just post group photos of book groups, but I need all of this. We're going to feature this on the website because it's just awesomely cool. I have never, ever experienced this with a book group before. Talk about above and beyond.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness.
So cool.
Well, I think we've taken up about as much time as our other members will allow us. So we will start jumping into some of their comments and questions as well as ours.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. We are all so glad Tolly got killed off.
Oh,
girl.
Oh man.
dang.
I'm glad. And I want to tell you just briefly, because we're talking about Tolly, a lot of people ask me about real life inspiration behind characters in the book. And I've had people in my own family ask me if I have experienced that kind of abuse because it rang so true to them.
Right.
And no, I have not at all. But I wanted to make an accurate portrayal, particularly of what women might have experienced in the 1950s and 60s in Alabama. I mean, it was a very different atmosphere. And thank God we've come to the point where women have resources and places to turn. I don't think Violet even felt she could tell her own parents what Tolly was doing to her.
Right.
Tolly is based on a character in a book I read years ago that was about a doctor in a European city. And I'm ashamed to tell you, I can't remember the name of the book. But this man was beloved by everyone in town. And he went to the butchers and got free meat, and he went to the bakers, they gave him free bread. And he had cured this person's nephew and that person's aunt. And, everyone just adored him, worshiped him. And he spent his days healing and comforting people. And then he went home at the end of the day to his mansion and beat the tar out of his wife. And he told people that she had a nervous condition and that's why she couldn't leave the house. And I was so fascinated by the dichotomy between this man's public persona and what everyone thought he was, and who everyone thought he was, and what he was really like behind closed doors. And that really inspired Tolly and made him a doctor in the book, because I wanted him to have that duality, because obviously you love to hate him, and he was such a horrible person.
Right. The comparison between him going to work and being a healer and someone who saves lives on a regular basis and then goes home and basically is draining the life out of someone else is just, it was such an explosion.
And just enough to know what to get away with.
Yes.
Like that's what was scary. I think that's why he was more hated, because it was just scary how good he was at what he did to her.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it was a tougher conversation last week because we dove into those chapters. And so it was really great that, myself and the ladies, we actually put up resources and phone numbers for women to call, because we do have a lot of female viewers, and even just our email addresses. We said, if you don't feel like reaching out to strangers or these phone numbers, like just always reach out to us. So it was a good thing to bring up, because like you said, you don't know what people are going through behind closed doors, and they can wear that smile, but who knows what's going on when no one's looking.
You just don't. You never know what goes on behind closed doors with people. We met with a military group. The military liaison went to a bookstore, I think it was Barnes and Noble, and asked them for a book that concerned domestic abuse, but would be an entertaining read for them. And they chose It All Comes Back to You. And it really did spark a conversation for these military wives. I think the military probably has a higher prevalence of spousal abuse. And You know, a lot of them went on to say that they were going to check on their friends more often.
Yeah.
And be more present and try to pay more attention to what's going on with their friends. And that means the world to me. We've done some fundraising for shelters too, during domestic abuse or domestic violence awareness month in October. We've tied, percentage of the proceeds from the sale of the book to a shelter here in Alabama. And I think I mentioned before, we've had some book groups actually go and take baskets or whatever to women's shelters. And that really does mean a lot to me. I'm so grateful that message comes through in the book.
That's so cool.
So I see Ashley is asking something I wanted to ask.
Everyone has this feeling.
I took it the same way.
Everyone has this feeling. I left this open on purpose. I wanted the reader to decide if Chet killed Tolly. I will tell you, I'm in the process of writing the sequel to It All Comes Back to You.
Oh my goodness.
That's exciting.
I'm still dealing with that and how we're going to state it in the book. But I wanted it to be very much an open question. I will tell you this. In my mind, he did kill Tolly, but, very important, but he did it because he felt as though Tolly was going to kill Violet.
Oh, for sure.
He was defending her, and he was trying to do it for her welfare rather than his own. And that's the way I saw it when I was writing the book. And it's a good time to tell you that I've met with so many book groups, and one thing that I have found tends to divide people down the middle is they either think Chet was an innocent kid with a crush that got out of control, or he was an absolute psychopath. People either feel one way or the other.
That's how we're divided.
Very innocently when I was writing it, and then I had my editor said to me, "This guy's a psychopath," and I had never even thought of him in those terms. So,
I like that.
The point there is Chet is whatever you believe he is, because a book is just black marks on dead trees until you pick it up and bring it to life, and you imbue those characters with the things, the feelings and thoughts and emotions. Yes, Chet totally did. So it's up to you, and it doesn't really matter what I thought when I was writing it. It matters what you think happened and what you think of Chet. So I love that. I love that it's open to interpretation.
Oh yeah, it's like a great piece of art. Everybody's going to view it differently, and the same thing. Like when you read it, you're going to perceive people differently. And we had this discussion because some of our members. Oh yeah, some of our members, like I know Desiree feels different about him than I do, and so it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's exactly what we talked about last week when everybody finally read the letter, or actually no, this week, right? Everybody finally read the letter. Yeah, so it's crazy.
This is a major question I think that everyone has. Would Violet have forgiven Chet?
Yes.
This is a tough one.
That is a tough one. I could not allow Violet to know the truth about Chet. I think it would have been so emotionally destructive for her. And I couldn't have gone there in the book when I was writing it. I wouldn't have done that to her. I don't know if she could have forgiven Chet. I think she was blind to a lot of Chet's shortcomings. And I do feel as though she was totally in love with him and felt safe with him and felt he was her defender. So when it comes to, would she have forgiven him for knocking Tolly off? I think she probably would. When it comes to if she would have forgiven him for all the things that he set in motion with that car, I don't know. I don't know if she could have done that.
And the train station.
And the train station. But there's more to that train station deal, I'm telling you. I'm writing this right now, and there's more to that train station.
So there's some, I assume there's probably some questions that you have to keep under wraps, I suppose.
Yeah. We won't get all of our answers, but it's nice to get a little inkling of a little bit of everything. So,
as long as they get answered in the next book, I'm fine.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I promise.
What was so cool is that you actually are sharing with us that you are currently working on more for this, because as a standalone, this has to be one of my favorites in a very, very long time. And I feel like even with all of the questions left unanswered, I still feel complete at the end of the story. So to know that there's going to be more, I'm actually a little teary-eyed. So to know that there's going to be a little bit more is very, very cool.
I want to make you verklempt. That's good.
Good. Like Adriana said, last week, we touched on the difficulties of domestic violence. And I think that was, a very tough week for everyone. And we also, you know, some of us shared what we've been through or loved ones have been through. And, you know, so it's really interesting to, you know, be able to get that, to then get closure in a lot of it, and then get to find out that some of our questions, you know, that we may have had might get answered at some point. And that is just very exciting to my heart.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially some of the areas, especially some of the things that we think were already just pretty black and white. If there's some like graded shade, you know, shaded areas that we're, oh, Beth, I'm so excited. Like, listen, Michael Jackson, #1 fan. Okay. He has been like the one and only superstar that I have been obsessed with since a child. Desiree, keep your comments to yourself. No, I still have them. Everything of his belongs to me. You have taken his place. I am a Beth Duke super. I will be your Chet.
Do not tell her when someone makes you mad.
We'll keep you safe.
Nobody has ever said I'll be your Chet. Thank you. I love you.
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
So I was watching
but
right. Yeah. Well, you never know. I was watching one of your podcast interviews, and I heard the story that you were saying when you were doing research for the book. I believe it was your sister-in-law or your cousin who worked at a retirement home.
My cousin.
Your cousin. And the story of the potato and the vines came from a real patient, right? And I read that in the back of the book, right? You're like, look, certain stories you just can't make up. And I was dying. So what other pieces of this book or this story came from like real events?
I'm so glad you asked that. Mandy is the name of my cousin who's been working in retirement homes, nursing homes, for many, many years. And the first thing I did when I started to write this book was invite her for margaritas and nachos and asked her to tell me her stories. That was the first story she told me. And obviously that had to go in the book because it's such an attention grabber. Mm-hmm. Anyway, you wouldn't believe how many people have told me I'm an ER nurse and I've encountered that, or my husband's a retired gynecologist and he has encountered that. My mother-in-law lives in a retirement facility in Florida, and one of the residents there is a former gynecologist who encountered the potato thing. So apparently it's a widespread home remedy for the discomfort from prolapsed uterus. And it's actually a lot wider known than I had thought when I wrote the book. So that was the first thing Mandy told me. She told me some other things. And then I went to shadow her at work. I was granted permission by the nursing director to kind of follow her around for about 4 hours, which was upsetting but enlightening. And I wanted so much to portray how caring and loving these nurses are to their patients and the devotion that they have to them. And Mandy certainly exemplifies that. And I wanted to mention her in the book because of that. Some of the little anecdotes in the book come from that directly. We had a woman who came out to the nursing station and said, "Where am I? How long have I been here? Mm-hmm. When am I going home?" And they told her the answers and told her where her room was. And then she literally turned around and came back out and asked the same questions over and over again, which was just heartbreaking. So some of those things came from it. Some of them are my idealized version of what a nurse would do for her patients, like taking the crossword puzzles to her patients and buying the stuffed animal cat for the woman who misses a cat. Those are things I would love to do if I were a nurse. I could never do that job. No. I'm so impressed by what they bring to their work, but it's just not something I could do. So I was trying to portray that love in a way that I would try to offer it if I were in a nursing home.
I loved the crosswords thing. I cried when I read that. I was like, oh my God, of course you did.
Well, you know,
I am a person who will run over and grab the door and help elderly people in any business. Right. But I think that describes a lot of us. I think that's something that most of us have built into us.
Wow. Those of us who are good still get the door and we'll help someone across the street and we'll offer a ride when needed. Yes, there are still some out there who do not, but you know.
Well, hey, I've been on the other end where, you know, my dad, he passed away end of last year, but he did suffer with dementia. So there were episodes where he would have to be in and out of care facilities at times. And there was one older lady, and she managed to get out into the parking lot, and she looked like she was going to stumble. And I was like, I'm sorry, honey, here, let me help you. Cussed me out. I said, oh my God. Like, you know, and so you think you're being so kind, and they're looking at you like you're the damn devil. She probably thought I was one of the nurses from inside trying to get her to go back in. My sisters were dying. I was like, well, I mean, who knows in her head what she's thinking, where she's at, you know, who's who. And reading your book, it was just nice to read about people that care that much about their patients, because I've seen the good side and I've seen the bad side. And having a parent that you see them come in and out of reality, it's very difficult. And you would only hope that if they're ever in a situation where a stranger has to be there to take care of them, they do so in a way that Ronnie did.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm so sorry for your loss. I lost my dad in December of last year to COVID in a nursing.
Yeah. My dad was in a assisted living, and he came down with COVID and went into the hospital, and he was there for about 10 or 12 days, and that was it. Yeah.
On the lighter side, I was going to point out, I usually tell people my father-in-law was in a nursing home in Florida for many years, and it's such an interesting microcosm. I use the word, thank you, Ashley. I use the word cool kids table, because it really is kind of a reflection of how they all were when they were younger. I mean, my father-in-law had this woman that had a crush on him who would literally climb into his lap in his wheelchair. And if we picked him up to take him to his wife, you know, for dinner, we would take him out. And as we were leaving the nursing home, she'd come out to the car and go on and on about, I love you so much. You come back to me soon, darling. You know, that kind of thing. They had all these little relationships and alliances.
It's like high school.
There. Yeah, it really is. High school all over. And there is a cool kids group, and there are the social rejects, and there's everything all over again. I think that's one reason I did the soda fountain kind of deal that Violet did at the end, because it seemed like it's something that would be really cool in that setting.
It definitely made sense.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I can only imagine when we're old to have something nostalgic, you know, that takes you back to when you're a teenager again. Like, that's awesome.
Yes, I hope so. I hope there are things like that. Fairfield Springs is such an idealized nursing home. Obviously, it's not necessarily how things really are, but I hope that someday there'll be facilities like that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want Violet's apartment.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, give me 2 rooms, please.
Right? She's all, knock out that wall, just expand it. I'll be back in a week.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Rebecca, you didn't go to nursing school, huh? But you got some stories. I bet.
Do any of them involve a potato, Rebecca?
I doubt that. Oh my goodness.
I know. And then when we saw that Violet got hit the first time with the potato in the kitchen, we were like, what's with the potato?
I know. I told my beta readers that the Idaho Potato Growers Association was going to come after me when I brought this up.
Right?
No potatoes were harmed in the making of this, but right? Because I hit potatoes really hard 2 times, and I thought, man, somebody is going to come after me. Somebody's going to say something. So far, I've had no official potato response, but yeah.
I would have killed Tully with that same potato. I would have baked it, put some arsenic in it, topped it with some sour cream.
When Tully used the potato, was that on purpose, or was it just happened? And then the coincidence
I was
there.
When I'm writing these scenes tend to unfold in my head as though I'm watching them, and I knew she was cooking the steak for him, and she was going to bake a potato for him, and I just thought that would be at hand, and it would be something that he would hurt. And it just kind of happened that way in my head.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely the right tool to use if you're trying not to let anyone know what you're up to. But
yeah.
I would say, and it helped make me at least read through it easier, because to me, it did lighten it up, because it did take me back to the first potato incident to kind of like put me in a lighter mindset to continue reading.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because humor is so important to me
in
my personal personal life and in my books too, I have to have something to lighten the moment. And it's basically the way that I deal with everything is through humor, whether it's really horrible puns like Ricochet or just.
We love that.
You know, the potato thing, all of that is important to me. I have to have comic relief in anything that I read. So it's important to me in what I write to have some. No, I was not craving French fries. It's important to me to have comic relief throughout the book. So I'm really glad that resonated with you.
Yeah, you definitely did. There were so many moments that I was, very hard belly laughing out loud throughout the story. And then in the opposite, chapter, I might end up in absolute tears. So you did very, very good going back and forth between, the two points of view.
Yes.
I loved it because we'd finish a chapter and I'm like, no, don't stop there. Right there. Damn it. And then we'd go to the next chapter. And by the end of that one, I was like, no, not there. Oh, good. I get to go back though.
It was watching a season of a show within reading your book. Like every chapter ended at the end of an episode. You know what I mean? And you just want to get
like a cliffhanger.
I tried cliffhanger. Yeah. I tried to cliffhanger you because that's how I love to read. I love books that are written that way, that leave me wondering what's going to happen in the next chapter. And I love books that are written from multiple points of view and different perspectives. And honestly, everything I've written, I have 4 novels in print. Everything I've written has been written that way with shifting points of view that take you away and bring you back. And it's just how I like to read. So it's how I like to write too. And I do think it makes things move along nicely when you get to shift one chapter to the next.
It does, actually. It does.
Yeah, it keeps you going, but gives you a break at the same time. It's like...
Yes. I love that.
Rebecca, you're too much.
Yes.
Next episode? Yes, I will. Then when you finish for the week, you're like, crap, I got to wait until next week. It's like back in the day when you didn't have Hulu or Netflix.
You use a TV guide? Yeah.
Yeah.
How did we ever watch TV? How?
Right.
I have to binge everything I watch now. I have no patience. This Is Us is the only exception to the rule. I can stand waiting a week for that, but everything else I have to have a full season.
Oh, we are loving some This Is Us too here. Plenty of these girls across here, all of our members, they're all watching with us, and we occasionally chit chat about it and catch up together too. So,
awesome!
Plus, we diet together. We do a lot of things, like more than book club.
Ashley, thank you so much, and I'm so glad that you're happy that they're written that way. That's wonderful.
I'm going to give a tiny spoiler alert without giving too much away. But Ashley, be careful what you read because I did choose another Beth Duke book for next year's.
Yes, she did. Yes, she
did. I had to.
Absolutely. Is it Tapestry?
I cannot disclose.
Oh, sorry. Tell me that you have to kill me. Okay.
We could tell you after.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll definitely know when we announce it.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great.
Oh my God. Yeah, we were like, so which one of us is picking another book of hers for next year? Because we obviously already have these books picked out for 2020, or 2021. But so we already know. Now we already know what we're reading for next year as well. And obviously, all of us were like, we're reading it next year, right? We're reading it. Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all I can tell you is I am dying to see what the swag box would be for any of my other books.
Oh,
absolutely dying to see what you would do with it.
Wow, so you will be the first to know. As soon as it's decided on and figured out, you will absolutely be the first to know.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, and go ahead.
I was just going to ask, I know people have questions. I don't want to monopolize too much time because I tend to just babble. So if anyone has any specific questions about the book, please tell me. Questions, comments, anything like that. I'll be happy to discuss anything or about me. Anything but my age or my weight is wide open. Everything else,
neither anybody here cares about.
You know what? Let's put this one back up.
Yes, Ashley, I will come back for that book. I know. Well, the whole reason why I did the thing with Violet's daughter being too late to meet her was that I wanted Ronnie and Deanna to have that need for each other and fill that vacancy in each other's lives. and that kind of worked out nicely that way. So it would have been a very different dynamic if Deanna had met Violet before she died.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wanted Ronnie and Deanna to be there for each other, just like Ronnie and Violet had been for a very long time.
Right. I thought that it was a really cool way that you wrote this story. It was just so realistic where, you know, where Ronnie is writing a story in your book and it doesn't get published immediately. Like, too many books are like, oh, everything that you expect to happen will come. And, you know, all the good things fall into place. But it was like, God, she's really hitting on things the way that they naturally would happen in life. It's like, you don't always get the guy. Or if you do, something's going to come up and screw it up in some way, shape, or form. Or maybe you got to work on something to be able to get something else. Like, I'm sorry, your book is just not ready yet. You know, right. I mean, it's just so cool how you hit on all these subjects in such a natural and realistic way, and that they didn't like just happen, and it was not a cliche, and it wasn't something that you could foresee. I was like, oh, I bet I know where this is going. No, I did not know where it was going. Wow, damn, and it was way better than I expected.
Yeah, good. I'm so glad. I will tell you, there's a part in the book about when Ronnie sends that manuscript. Ronnie, by the way, there's a lot of me and Ronnie on the page. Ronnie is basically me on the page in a lot of ways. Her weight struggles and her being a pale Irish mole person who can't get a tan, you know, and the way she tries to take care of older people. That's all me, straight up me. There's a boyfriend in there who's kind of based on someone that I knew. I can talk about that at length if you want. But now I forgot where I was going with this. This is why I should not drink wine and have book groups at the same time.
No, that's why you should.
Some of us wait till second hour. Some of us, not me.
Yes.
I don't drink.
That would be smart of me to do that. Yes.
For that way. And that way.
Very realistic characters, very realistic situations.
Thank you. I was going to talk about sending a manuscript in because it was hideously tense and nervous for me when I was sending manuscripts in to big time agents and feeling as though they would kind of regard it as a kudzu covered thing from Alabama. And all of that was kind of my snarky digs at the publishing industry too along the way. But when I submitted It All Comes Back to You and my agent fell in love with it, it was about 18,000 words short of what it became later. And she had me add a lot more to it and fill it out and add a lot of backstory and some conflict here and there. So it really was kind of real life, the way it worked with Ronnie. It just happened that way that I ended up adding almost 20,000 words to the manuscript total before it got done.
That's funny. I was just telling the girls earlier today, I was like, we should ask her if there's any correlation between you and Ronnie in any aspect of the writing. And you just totally answered that.
Yes, I did. And I will tell you also, the first great I Can't Live Without Him love of my life was 13 years older than I. He was a Florida State Trooper of the Year because he had just pulled a toddler from a burning wreck the year before.
Ooh, yeah.
And he had an ex-wife who would call me and say some pretty bizarre things. Thank you, Rebecca. And there's a lot of him in the character of Rick. Some of his anecdotes from the Highway Patrol came into the book as well, and he definitely inspired that character of Rick O'Shea.
I loved him. I thought he was a fun addition to the story. He had a great personality. Obviously, the nickname was just, I mean, his name was so fun.
So see, clever. We had some mixed feelings about Rick O'Shea as well.
Right. Yeah.
I wanted you to be very suspicious of Rick initially and not be sure if he was a good guy or a bad guy. A lot of the conflict that I introduced between Ronnie and Rick was because of that agent I told you about. She wanted me to kind of make some more discord between the two of them. So I invented that story about the girl who had killed herself years ago. And a lot of that stuff was, you know, just kind of made up out of thin air. But the real person I was telling you about that has this background, his wife would call me, ex-wife would call me and say things like, he's going to put you on a pedestal, but it's not going to last. He's going to, you know, make you feel like you're the only woman in the world. He's going to pursue you, which he did relentlessly. And then he'll move on to the next person, which frankly is what happened. I don't know if that's what's going to happen with Rick in the next book or not yet. I haven't determined that. But a lot of that was rooted in my own experiences because authors are thieves. I mean, I can't write anything unless I'm making it up and it runs through my head as a story, as fiction, but a lot of it is stolen. Characteristics from people, experiences I've had, experiences other people have had that I've known about. It all comes together in my characters. And the psycho ex-wife, what? Yeah, right? She was bad. She was difficult.
But then it's amazing to see that when you write about those characteristics, how many people relate to them and have experienced that.
Yeah.
You know, we can all kind of pinpoint other people in our lives that resemble these characters. It's just funny.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's pretty universal.
Yeah.
From
I loved towards the end of the book where you actually wrote about how Ronnie was rewriting her manuscript and she went back and changed the beginning of chapter 2. And I went back and I looked at chapter 2 and it was the same sentence. And I was like, oh, this is Ronnie's book. And it like hit me. You know what I'm saying?
Like a book within a book. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I wrote down in my notes. I was like, you hear those dream within a dream. So I was like, that's exactly what this was. I was like, write that down last night. I was like, oh my goodness, this is mind crazy.
Well done. Well done.
Kind of like Inception on a much simpler level. Someone asked me what you do, what advice I have for aspiring writers or something like that. My best advice that I have at all is just start. The hardest part is to get started. No matter if you're writing sheer unadulterated claptrap, just sit down and start writing. You can go back and edit later and pour your heart out and keep it going and then show it to someone. Because that's really how I got started. Yes, an Inception moment. In the beginning, I wrote short stories, and I literally had 7 friends who had me email to them every day and send them the newest installment in these short stories. And, you know, they'd read them over coffee or whatever and give me feedback. And that's how I got started writing. And that's really my method, I think, is the best for someone who's getting started. Johnny was a jerk. Yeah, pretty much. They didn't deserve her.
Oh my goodness. I love your advice. That's really incredible because I know that, you know, for those of us who don't get a lot of opportunity to speak with writers, we're always like, how is it done? What do you do? How do you start? Is it like, oh, I dreamt about something and I just started or woke up and started writing, or, you know what I mean? But it's really cool to get, you know, advice from obviously a very well accomplished author. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one who's very appreciative.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's all about getting started, and every writer I know will tell you the same thing. You just have to make yourself sit down at a keyboard and start writing. And I will tell you my little, very brief, tiny story about how I got started writing. I was born in Anniston, Alabama, but I lived most of my life on the Gulf Coast of Florida. And I went to see the movie Sweet Home Alabama with my best friend in Sarasota, Florida. And Marianne absolutely loved the movie. I wanted to get up and walk out in the middle of the movie. I hated the stereotypes that were portrayed in Sweet Home Alabama. I've never had to use the words, you have a baby in a bar. And I don't have a crazy uncle who fires a Confederate cannon every afternoon. And it's crazy. So not coincidentally, I began writing short stories not too long after that movie. And, you know, Catherine Stockett, who wrote The Help, said that like many authors, she began to write in a voice that she missed. And in my case, that voice was Alabama. I missed Alabama. I never wanted to move to Florida. And I wanted to move back to Alabama. And I began to use my fiction as a way to highlight things I wanted people to know about my home state, like the Marshall Space Center and the beautiful scenery of the Northeast where I live, with mountains and warm, intelligent, educated people who welcome strangers with open hearts, and the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, which is not to be or not to be, I'm fixing to decide, but a real Shakespeare festival. And there's so many things I wanted to show off and communicate through my fiction, and that's how I got started. I had always loved putting things into words, but I found myself writing stories about Alabama. And a lot of the people I knew in Alabama kind of found their way into those early stories. And that's what started it. Oh, the restaurants. Yes. Every restaurant I love finds its way into a book. Mary Max is fantastic. Classic on Noble is fantastic. If any of you make it to Alabama, I will go with you to Classic on Noble, which is one of my favorite restaurants ever. We've had probably 6 book groups there that I've met. That people wanted to have the meeting at the actual restaurant. We've also
booking my flight.
So all the restaurants that you post or write about are all actual ones.
Yeah, they're real ones. Yeah.
Sounds like a road trip, guys.
Yes, Rebecca. I'm just about to buy my plane ticket right now.
Since we started, all of the women, right? Since we started, all of the women in our book club are like, when are we going to do like a book club retreat? Like, instead of when, we just need to say where. And obviously, y'all know now that the answer is Alabama. So get ready. We're going to the South.
You can beat the South Carolina group, because I have a South Carolina group who is calling it the Alabama Beth Duke Book Group Tour, and they're coming down here for it, but they have not done it yet. So I would love that. I seriously would. I can show you some places.
Book club trip. Yes,
Amazing.
Trip. It was,
and I love meeting people this way, and y'all are just really special.
That would be so dang fun. I mean, we have been kind of going back and forth between like taking like a haunted house trip and a non-haunted one. So I'm guessing all of the scaredy cats out there are going to be very excited that we're just going to take a trip down to Alabama, get together for book club, and then we get to meet you.
Well, I'm sure you guys have some cool like old plantations and stuff down there too. That are.
I was gonna say we could do all the above.
And,
eat all the above.
Yeah,
we honestly don't have that many extant plantations now. There aren't that many. It's still standing. But Alabama, the things that I try to communicate about Alabama are that we do have some really beautiful physical natural scenery, mountains and waterfalls and beautiful parks and things that people don't know about. And also there are just really cool places to tour around Alabama. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this. I always recommend this documentary. I've been known to force people to watch the documentary Muscle Shoals, which takes place in northeast Alabama near Florence. And Muscle Shoals is just the most incredible music history that took place in northeast Alabama, and nobody knows about it. And it's on Netflix. It's called Muscle Shoals. Just trust me, just watch it. It's just all these old names from music history, from Aretha Franklin to the Rolling Stones to all these bands that came through Florence, Alabama, and recorded there at Muscle Shoals. It's awesome. And that's a taste of a lot of what I've tried to tell people about Alabama. No haunted houses, right?
I actually am definitely gonna check that out because a lot of us are really into music as well. So it'd be really cool to get a little more history.
Please watch it. It's really well done.
That's so cool.
We should make this our homework for next week, since we needed an idea for our meeting on Sunday. We can discuss this movie.
Yes.
Muscle Shoals.
Yeah.
Beth, let me ask you, have you ever been approached yet about making this book or one of your books into a movie?
From your mouth to God's ear. I've had a lot of people tell me that they would love to see it made into a movie. I've had people talk about how they thought it would be great for Hallmark or Netflix or whatever, but we have not been approached by anyone soliciting that. We've sold everything else you can sell, foreign translations across Europe, and audiobooks, obviously, the rights to audiobooks and all this other stuff, but not film or TV. Wow. So if you happen to know anyone in LA, please put them in touch.
I will write letters. I will do it. So another thing we do is when we finish a book, we cast the characters as if it were a movie, and we have our list of actors for your characters. And that's why I asked. Oh my God, I would love to see this in a movie though.
Oh yeah, I agree. First of all, every single scene in this story I could see if I close my eyes. Like it's not like as simple as Hallmark for me. This is like I need IMAX.
Yeah. We need
like on a big screen, and I want amazing music to go with it. Obviously, music from your recommendations here.
Yeah, we'll have to bring the tissues for sure.
Move over Nicholas Sparks. I agree.
Yeah.
Tired of his movies. We need something more.
Yeah, I'm not that big a Nicholas Sparks fan, but thank you. You know,
do you have a favorite author?
Oh, I have so many favorite authors.
Don't ask for one.
I can't give you one. I can tell I love John Irving. I love Barbara Kingsolver. I love James Michener. I love Ken Follett's historical fiction. And there's just an endless list. And then there's some modern authors like Jennifer Robeson. I loved The Gown that she wrote. I thought she was brilliant. It's a very, very, very long list. I could never tell you enough authors I love. But certainly John Irving and Richard Russo both have been really big influences and kind of just influenced my fiction a lot. Chris Bajalian was an early mentor to me, and I don't know if y'all know Chris Bajalian, but he wrote really great fiction. He wrote a book called The Double Bind. And when I was living in Florida, my book group let us choose each month what we were going to read. And my choice was The Double Bind by Chris. And he kind of pioneered the idea of joining book groups for conversation. It was totally unheard of at the time. Nobody ever did it. And Chris had this website, and this is back in the days where you had to listen to the screeching modem when you got online. And he offered to meet with people. So I lined him up to meet with my Florida book group, and we all sat around the speakerphone and yelled at him, and he yelled back at us, and it was just the coolest thing. And I came to know him later on, and he's just a really great writer, and sort of paved the way for authors to get together with their readers and talk, which I think is super important.
That's so cool.
I think Chris is a really great writer too.
That's good to know, because I would say so far our book club has not really enjoyed any male writers. Outside of our book club, I know all of us have at some point, but we haven't really found one yet reading together, a male that all of us can agree has written something that, we were really as touched by. But it's good to know.
Yeah. You weren't touched by Ostrich Land?
Jeez.
Yeah, that was my pick. It was a funny, silly book about ostriches.
It was hysterical. It was
really?
hysterical.
It did get us all to take a trip to Solvang and visit the actual ostrich land. So
it was a self-published book by a gentleman who wrote his first book, and it was a fun
humor
read to it.
It was fun.
I tell you, I will probably look up Ostrich Land and read it. I'm always looking for recommendations from readers. Here's something that I have not said to a book group lately. There's a very little known author who's a member of the Atlanta Writers Club, which I'm also a member of. And I had never heard of him, and someone told me I had to read this book, and I have since recommended it to umpty-jillion people, and they've all loved it. And it's called Kiss of the Jewel Bird. And Kiss of the Jewel Bird was written by Dale Kramer. And you know how you read a book sometimes and it just ruins all the next books you read for like the next 6 months? That book was like that for me. I highly recommend Kiss of the Jewel Bird, which no one has ever heard of, but it's just a really great book. And
when we are done with our reading for the week and we're trying not to go on, most of us are always like, damn, what can we read in the meantime? This one I'll be picking up next. So
good. You'll have to tell me. I really loved it.
I will, absolutely. I'm excited to have that recommendation. We do get quite a few recommendations randomly, but I like getting one, first of all, that's a male author that I may or may, I just tend to prefer female authors. I don't know, but it'll be good to know, and I will definitely let you know how I feel about that one.
Good.
So without further ado, I think we all would like to know, who do you want to cast in your big damn film? Because we want to see it.
Well, here, should we post who we have? And you give us.
Wait, well, first, have you thought about this? Do you had you pictured people?
Dream celebrities?
I have people ask me all the time, and I'm very deliberate about not being too descriptive of my characters, because I want them to be the way they are in a reader's head, just like I want them to be when I read them. So I haven't really thrown too many names out there. The only one that I can tell you off the top of my head is that I think if you were to foof up Helen Mirren and get rid of her British accent and give her lavender hair, I think she could be a really great older Violet. But other than that,
love her.
I love her too. And I think she could be a really great older Violet. Other than that, I haven't thought of any specific actor or actress for any of those roles.
Helen Mirren is so sexy at every single age that she 100% could be Violet.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
See, I put either Jane Fonda or Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah, they could either do it. Yeah.
Oh, this is Desiree's picks for Violet at her ages.
The only thing is, Violet, we need some brown contact lenses because Violet has brown eyes.
Yes.
See, for Violet,
she was like, contacts are not a problem when the girls.
I was like, contacts, dye their hair, wigs. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. You're right.
See, I thought Katherine Heigl or like Blake Lively for like her 20s, 30s Violet.
Yeah, I could see
because
that.
I could see them with that dramatic role of going through all that stuff with Tully. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, see, and I felt that way about Margot Robbie. She was like my in her 30s because first of all, she's gorgeous, but she could definitely be the girl that takes a beating, that, has a hard time that then you root for. I don't know. She was my like Violet.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
A lot of book groups have thrown out Amy Adams, which I hadn't thought that Amy Adams could do this role really well.
She's amazing in everything she does, so she's not wrong.
She has a very like innocence about her, I feel.
I agree.
Which Violet, of all that she's gone through, still has that like innocent towards people, or not innocence, but that genuine thought of people.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really, thank you, PBN.
Scylla. Good job, Scylla. I agree.
Good night, Scylla.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So who else do we think, ladies? Who's your main men?
McGraw. Holy crap. Yeah. That'd be good.
Oh, okay. So for Chet, I did like a father-son acting duo. So I was either thinking like Josh and James Brolin, because that way they still look similar as he ages, or James and Scott Kane.
I love both of those.
Yeah.
I love both of those. Yeah.
Interesting.
I really like the Brolins better though, because he's so dark-haired and dark-eyed. I think that could really work.
Yeah.
Well, and they definitely have that like kind of more like Southern look. I would feel, just personal thoughts on that. I got that little more roughness.
Oh yeah, I like that very much.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you, if I saw old man Chet right there in the nursing home, I'd be going into his room too.
I had never thought of them. That's a really good idea.
Oh yeah.
Desiree's picks were Chet at all his ages here.
Like that.
I'm sorry, but
I wouldn't kick Kevin Costner out either.
No. I'd die in his bed too. Wow. Yeah, I would die in his bed for sure.
Hello.
No problem. All right. Who did Desiree pick for Sam? Oh, this little cutie. And then, damn you, Harrison Ford. You are a Sam for sure.
Wow. I did not see that. Interesting choice. See, I see his red hair, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that Sam is kind of based on someone I knew, so that's not really fair.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, Sam. Well, let me back up. I had a great aunt who was from where I am right now in Delta, Alabama. Her name was Effie Ray, and we all called her Effie because she insisted on that. And she had a career at the time when women just didn't have a career in the 40s, and moved to New York and just had the most glamorous life, married this wonderful man, and moved to San Francisco. And San Francisco was her home. And I adored her and went to visit her numerous times. And when she was in her 90s, we were going through photo albums, and I found this guy who was just super good looking, and he was dressed like he was probably in the 1940s. And I asked Effie who that was, because it was very obviously neither of her two husbands who'd passed away. And she said, I was so in love with him. And she got all misty-eyed. She's like 93. She said, I wanted to marry him. And his parents absolutely told him that he would be dead to them. They would never speak to him again. They would completely disown him because he was Jewish and Effie was this little Southern Baptist girl. So I knew that was going to find its way into one of my books eventually. And that really kind of precipitated the relationship between Sam and Violet. But I also have friends in Florida who are both attorneys whose last name is Sobel. And Donna was a little Southern Baptist girl from Atlanta who converted to marry Ed. And they had the most wonderful wedding I've ever attended in my life. And I remember saying something to her about biscuits and bagels mixing. And that's kind of where that came from. And that's where the Sobel last name and the whole attorney thing sort of was rooted in my mind. So I naturally, but that's really the background on all of that. So
who is your Sam if you had to pick, or who is her Sam if she had to pick? One of those.
I honestly can't answer that. I can't think of an actor off the top of my head who could be that. Oh, that might be a little more Sam.
Yeah,
that might be
Cameron Monaghan. That's young Sam to me. And then old Sam,
definitely that could be Red.
I'm not Robert Redford. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I didn't really pick like a 17-year-old Sam per se, but I am in love with Domhnall Gleeson. He is a sexy man right there. Sam in his teens.
Damian Lewis. That's an interesting choice. I hadn't thought about him.
Damian. Oh yeah. What was he on? He was on that TV show. What was it? With Claire Danes. Homeland.
Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh yeah.
That's my old man Sam right there.
Could be old. He could be old Sam. Definitely.
Right.
And his hair's kind of
reddish. I haven't
reddish.
thought too much about old Sam, but he could be. Definitely. Yeah. I like Damian Lewis, though. He just lost his wife, Helen McCrory, who's the most wonderful actress.
Right.
And I would love to see him in this.
I loved her in Peaky Blinders. It makes me so sad she's gone.
Yeah.
Me too. I loved her and everything she ever did. She was such a talented actress. And there will never
they were married.
Oh. Yeah.
It's interesting. Wow.
So what about young Johnny?
You know, I just haven't ever tried to make these casting choices. So I'm more interested in what you have to say.
Desiree, who is your young Johnny? Because he's a little cutie there. And
hold on. I have it written down. Let me see. I have on here Alex Lang.
Okay. So that's this one.
Young Johnny.
He's a cutie. He could definitely play a gorgeous boy in a gorgeous car, and then poof, life is over. So
I picked Nick. What's his name? Nick Robinson.
Okay.
Me too.
And then old Johnny, I picked Michael Douglas.
I had originally written that down.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Okay. Oh, let's get a good one here, I think.
Who's Ronnie? Damn it. I want to know.
Ricochet. Well, hold up.
Oh, okay. You go, Ricochet.
Okay, from the moment that I met his character and the way he was with Ronnie, I don't know why, but I have Gerard Butler stuck in my head. Because he has that really sarcastic kind of dry humor type of thing where he's kind of a smart aleck, but then could also be like that trooper cop. Yeah, Gerard Butler.
He's also like a big enough man to like take a woman. It doesn't matter the size.
You know Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Oh.
I've never thought about this before, but I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan could definitely fit in that role.
He could pick Rebecca, yes. Throw you over his
Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler was a state trooper over here. I'd speed on purpose.
Good night, on purpose. Oh my goodness. Good night, babe.
Good night.
Oh man. There are quite a few men that could easily play a good old sexy Ricochet. But
definitely.
I had Taylor Kinney, which actually reminds me of a younger Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh yeah,
he could be.
Yeah, he is cute.
And since we've got
Tully.
Oh,
Damn.
Oh, Tully's not ugly enough. He's an asshole. I don't know.
Yeah.
He used to be ugly.
I pictured him being an ugly man. I pictured him being a really good looking older man, a little bit of gray, but a complete jackass. Like he looks that good.
Okay, if Tully looked like that, I would give him the potatoes.
I don't mean to say that he's ugly, but I don't want him to be that good looking. It's just not. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like she
You
didn't
wanna
go
hate
for
him
him for any reason, but he was there.
I've never watched that show, Rebecca.
McSteamy, right? For everybody who watched Grey's Anatomy, there is.
Yes. Yes. That's true. Rebecca has a point.
He was a little douchey, though. I mean,
yeah, he was.
So there is that. Annie was a doctor. I mean, two things.
See, I didn't watch that show. I didn't know that.
Anna, who was your Tully? Since I know you got some.
You know what? I don't like him, so I didn't pick a Tully. But I think more. I don't. Oh, shit. Let me see. I'm gonna come up with one right now.
Okay, so Mel Desiree picked Sean Penn, and I love Sean Penn. I feel like he makes such a great lawyer.
Yeah.
Such a good attorney of anyone's money or finances or, end of life decisions. He'd be a good job. he'd be doing a good job there.
So you're going to pick a random Tully? Is that what we're doing?
Well, it's like I had general ideas of what I thought these characters looked like as I'm reading the book, and when you go through and you start to look at images, they just translate to you like, oh, that's it. I could see him resonate. So I'm trying to see if one of these pop out to me. And if it fits, it fits.
All right. So Desiree picked her Ronnie and her bestie Kate. Des, who'd you pick here, little lady? Oops, sorry. You need to pop that out. There we go.
Shailene Woodley for Kate. I know, because sometimes when she's out, she can be pretty sassy in some of the movies that I've seen.
Yeah.
Her TV shows.
Oh, she was good in Big Little Lies, so
yeah,
absolutely. But she's got some chewed and sarcasm, so she'd be cute for a Kate. But and then Ronnie picked Chloe Grace Moretz. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's cute.
She does not look like she has weight struggles.
I see. It was really hard to try and find an actress within that age range to try and meet all of these things, and I was like, something's got to give.
Something's got to give. She definitely has the right personality to play someone who does have those struggles, though. Yeah. Because she still has that full baby face, so she could definitely still be someone. And she's I think she's almost 30 now, so she definitely could be someone who's around that age who maybe has those struggles. But I haven't.
Yeah, that's how I searched for everyone. Was actors and actresses in these age range.
Right, that fit the perfect description, and you're like, and I want to pick the right one. I want to pick the wrong one. Yeah. She's cute, though.
I do like
that actress. All right, go on.
You ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
None other than Alec Baldwin.
Oh, my Lord. I would watch that.
You tell me he is not the perfect Tully. You want to hate him.
He kind of is, yes.
He can be charming, and I can see him being the a-hole.
Yeah, and he's older, drunk that looks downstairs.
Right, but he's older yet looks strong enough to still do damage. They can't be a feeble older man. Oh, I'm done.
And he's so charming that he would play the perfect of course you're a caring doctor.
Okay, I love that. I love Alec.
So when someone contacts you to do the movie, you let them know you already have a casting director.
I will.
They'll show up with our list. And if you're really short on a Ronnie, I could fill in. I do have weight problems. I'm pale and I've got dark skin. And if Gerard Butler's my romance, it's on. Yeah, we're good.
Gerard Butler,
and I'm definitely in my late 20s.
So we're in Runaway. So
You
Did you
better
catch
let
that last
Sean
part,
know you
Tasha?
got a hall pass.
I'm in my late 20s.
She's
so
working.
It all
That's a
just is
job.
perfect. It's perfect. Late 20s
All
out of
right.
10 years. That's okay.
You're too much. All right. Do we have any extra? Oh, we do have a couple more cast people here. We have a Deanna and a Cece from Desiree.
Ah,
Cute.
Yeah. Cece?
those are both excellent choices.
Right.
I could see Deanna being Violet's daughter. Yeah.
Can I ask really fast? Like totally everybody's asking questions, so I waited. Cece's up there. Did Cece read the letter?
No, I don't think Cece knew what was
I
in that
didn't
letter.
think she did.
No, because it was sealed.
Cece is
No,
so
I know, but I
ridiculously.
really needed to ask.
She is so self-involved. I don't think she even cared what was in that letter. I think she resented Chet's feelings toward Violet, and I don't think she read the letter. That was my intention to write it that way, that she never even cared enough to open it and see what was in there. Because she just thought it was more syrupy blathering about how much she cared about Violet.
Well, I
I
feel
have
like
a
if she had,
feeling. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I have a feeling that if Violet hadn't have passed when she did, I don't think she would have even sent the letter to her.
Right.
And I feel like if she had read it, she would not have felt the same way she did about Violet.
Right.
Realizing it wasn't anything that she did.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so Rebecca said Renee Zellweger for Ronnie, right? I think that, like, obviously she fluctuates in weight, so she could.
She could definitely work.
Yeah.
And I didn't find it bizarre how Violet didn't seem to like Cece, because Cece was basically a little shit. You know, she didn't interact with Violet at all. She was resentful of Violet. I don't think she liked it when Violet was at their home.
Right.
And I just felt like she was just a totally spoiled little girl who didn't have anything but resentment for Violet.
Yeah. See, and my take was more, she knew how her brother was and maybe knew more about how her brother felt. And so maybe that also contributed to the resentment.
Maybe. But we also need to keep in mind these children had parents who were just
there.
Well, particularly their mother was atrocious and just was the kind to eat her own young. She was just horrible. And their dad was pretty much absent, and they behaved accordingly. They just really didn't have the kind of background they should have.
Right. Yeah, the upbringing was a little lacking there.
Definitely.
To say the least. Speaking of upbringing, Desiree did pick her Jocelyn here, and Michelle Pfeiffer. And Rick's ex-wife, also Victoria, is there, and what's her name? Alexandra Daddario or something. She's a cutie. She's basically looking enough. I like it.
I would like to see Michelle Pfeiffer be trashy enough to play Jocelyn.
Yeah, good, right?
Out trashy the trashiest person I could think of. She could probably do that. You're right.
She definitely could.
Well, think she's all like mangled,
played, like the cracked out lady in Monster. I think Michelle Pfeiffer could do it.
Remember when Michelle Pfeiffer was Catwoman? She's all mangled and like kind of crazed. She could do it.
Yes, she could.
I just felt like she needed to be really skinny, like she'd been through a lot. Just
that's
You're
true.
right.
That's crazy. I loved when Ronnie told her, "You are no more my mother than a stranger on the street." I was like, "Good for you."
Yeah.
That has stuck in my head.
Earlier, why Deanna and Rick pushed for Ronnie to meet her mother. I saw that question and then I kind of forgot about it, but I did want to address that. I just feel like they felt like she needed that closure. She needed that to move on and to go forward, and it would never be resolved for her until she actually had an in-face meeting with her mom. So that's why.
Right.
I think this was a big discussion last week for us.
It was, because a lot of our family members are adopted. She also cross-adopted her husband's children, and he did her. And then also I adopted my 2 youngest. And so adoption is such a major part of so many of our lives that we were like, God, what would happen if, like what if someone was pushed and what if they needed the pushing? But then we really thought about Ronnie in the end, needing Violet's push to write her book and needing, this man who cares about her and Deanna, who's clearly going to be a lifelong friend for her to push her into, getting the closure that maybe she wasn't sure she needed, but then we found out she did in the end. So it was a really cool way to, hit on the adoption side when we found out Violet's connection to the adoption and how she had supplemented it so that Ronnie could get adopted by her parents. Oh, I was like,
yeah.
I couldn't have even dreamed that up. It was beyond expectations.
Yeah.
And that plays into the title. It all comes back to you. I mean, obviously it's a reference to Chet and all that he set into motion and how all of the impact he had on the lives came back to him and that one act that he committed. But it also has to do with the kindnesses that you put out in the world and how they come back to you. And Violet's sponsoring Ronnie's adoption and making it possible for her to have a future with the Johnson family. And then in turn, Ronnie ends up taking care of her and being devoted to her in her later years. I love that concept. And my books tend to have a theme about how we all impact each other and how our kindnesses come back to one another, and we influence other people's lives without even knowing. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I want to circle back to Ronnie and Jocelyn because we also talked about the aspect of dealing with a family member who deals with addiction and having gone through that, and myself having gone through that in my past. And everyone was having their opinions about it. And there were a lot of opinions like, well, I don't see why it was such a big deal. Like nothing came out of it. Her mom is still who she is and she never changed. But for me, the way that I read it and took it is, when things like that happen to a person as a child, you're a victim of those actions because it's something that's outside of your control, right? This person makes these choices and they're going through their addiction and their issues, and you're kind of along for the ride. And what happens to you outside of anything that you can control, and you're victimized by that. I think that it was important for Ronnie, the way I took it, to go back. And I like that you wrote it to where it wasn't this big event where all of a sudden her mom has changed and now she's going to have her back in her life. No, her mom was the same. Yeah. She was still going through the same issues. She was still the same person that she was as a kid, but Ronnie now had the option to no longer be a victim and to allow herself to say what she needed to say and get her feelings out and have that validated, to just let her know, this is what you did to me and this is how I feel about you. And when that's why it resonated so deep with me to say, you are no more a mother than a stranger on the street to me. That was her finally deciding herself, I'm not a victim of this person anymore in these choices, and I'm closing the door and I'm moving on. And for that, I want to thank you, because that can be very powerful for a lot of people. It doesn't always have to end like a fairy tale, but it's the way that you close those chapters and you move on.
That kind of choked me up. Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad that you read it that way and that it came across that way, because I was really trying very hard to be authentic with it. And Jocelyn was who she was, regardless of her addictions. If you set that aside, she was the person she was. And yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. Absolutely incredible story. So many of us cannot wait for more. So have you completed the next chapter in all of their lives, or are you still currently working on that?
I'm still currently working on it. Honestly, I have a lot of issues going on in my own family right now that are taking me away from writing. So I had a concept of what I was going to do with this sequel, and I started writing it, and I've kind of had to sideline it for a while, and I will be getting back to it, and we're due now for 2023 when it's going to come out. But I'm very much involved emotionally with those characters and thinking of them and what they're going to do. There's another book, Tapestry, that came after It All Comes Back to You, because I wasn't. I wasn't sure I was going to write a sequel to it. And then all these ideas started coming to me and things that I wanted to get out there about Sam. Frankly, a lot of Sam that was not explored in the first book. And there's going to be a lot more from his family and his perspective and things like that. But it's going to take a while. I'm not really able to sit down and write every day right now.
That's all right. So we all understand family first, especially during times like these when pretty much everything is just up in the air and you're unsure of where all your puzzle pieces are going to fall. So you just take care of those first. We are patient enough for this. Trust me. If you say 2023, we're going to be like,
we'll put it in our calendar.
Yeah, wonderful. But it could be December 31st, and we're going to be like, yeah! We'll be very excited about what comes next.
Inspiring me. You're inspiring me to get back to it.
Well, you make sure family comes first. And by the way, happy Mother's Day, right?
Yes. Thank you.
That is next.
Thank you.
So,
so Beth, can we ask you a couple of fun little game questions? What was it? Would you rather?
We have a would you rather or a this or that.
Yeah, sure.
Which would you rather play?
All right. Why don't you? Which one you want to go first on? They're both very quick. I've got one.
If you have them up, go ahead.
I do. Yeah. So we're gonna play this or that. It's very quick. Just spitfire.
Yeah. It's not. It's that. Like, no thinking.
Yeah, and hopefully none of these are the answers to any of your passwords. So, all right, we're gonna go quick. Tea or coffee?
Okay.
So tea or coffee? Hot or cold
coffee.
Weather?
Cold.
Cold. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Oh yeah, that's me. City or country?
It used to be city, now it's country.
All right, this one's a 3-part: paperback, hardcover, or ebook.
Ooh.
Honestly, it's ebook most of the time for me because I am a very impatient person, and when I find out I want to read something, I have to have it right now. So I read a lot on Kindle, but I do. If I fall in love with a book, though, I will buy the hardcover or paperback version as well, just so I have it in my library permanently. But I tend to read most of what I read on Kindle.
Let me say real quick, the feel of this book is amazing. Like the cover is absolutely gorgeous, but the actual feel of the book, like that velvety,
physical.
Oh man, you just don't. Another reason why you don't want to put it down.
No.
I'm so glad.
You just hold your book and go to sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have pencil or pen.
Pen.
All right. How about cake or pie?
Cake.
Breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
Read in bed or read on the couch?
I never read anywhere but in bed.
Oh.
Fireplace or bonfire?
Totally fireplace.
Library or bookstore?
Library.
Sweet tea or peach tea?
Sweet tea.
And backyard barbecue or 5-star steakhouse?
5-star steakhouse.
Girl, I love it.
I'm hungry.
Those are good.
Yeah. I love a good restaurant for sure.
Oh,
I'm not really, I mean, I think everybody thinks if you're from Alabama, you love a barbecue, but I'm not that much of an outdoor person. Despite the fact that I love the country, I'm very much an indoor person.
Well, you can admire.
A little conflicting. You're a country gal, but you want to be inside at the 5-star.
You can admire it from the window.
Right.
Exactly. I can look out and see it.
I love it.
I'm just being honest.
What is your favorite holiday?
Oh, Christmas. By far.
Oh,
I knew
Love Christmas.
You were my soulmate. You are my spirit animal.
Yes, definitely.
So have you heard of the author Sheila Roberts?
No, I haven't.
She writes really amazing books as well. She has a lot of Christmas themed books, and actually two of her books were made into like Hallmark or Lifetime movies. And she was my December pick for last year, Candy Cane Lane, and she was on with us, and she was so amazing. So that was really fun because I'm a Christmas fanatic. So to have an author like that on, yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Fanatic. That's small word for what she is for Christmas.
Yes.
I know people who put their tree up in November, or no, I'm sorry, in July. So are you one of those people?
I am not. However, I do watch the Christmas in July Hallmark movies and the QVC Christmas in July when they start bringing all the stuff out. And I just get all excited and I start putting my Pinterest pages together. Yeah. Half the shit I don't do, but it gets me excited and it makes me.
But yeah. What's the oldest book you reread?
Oh.
That's actually a really great question because I can answer it like that. It's a book called The Source by James Michener. And I have reread that at least once, and I absolutely adore it because it goes back essentially to the beginning of recorded time in the cradle of civilization and then moves on generation after generation. It's a really great book.
Ooh.
So The Source by James Michener.
Good question.
This is actually our pre-reader. This is our mom.
Yes, she's amazing.
Okay.
Good question, Mom. I'll call you.
Excellent question. Excellent question. I love historical fiction, and that book certainly fits that genre. But it's also just really, really fascinating and educational as far as our beginnings and how we formed as a society and as people. And I highly recommend that book.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Historical fiction is not always easy to read because sometimes you're like, well, is it a history book or is it a good fiction? But if you can combine the both, I'm in love. So I'm going to be checking that out too.
Okay, now I have to talk to Carol for a second because I don't think Michener wrote a book about London. But Edward Rutherford did, and I absolutely adore that book.
Ooh.
But did Michener write a book about London?
Ooh. I want to know what's going down. She's about 20 seconds behind us, so she'll be answering shortly.
I could be wrong. Michener may have written about London. I don't know.
She's probably trying to find her thumbs and her fingers for the
information.
But another author I love very much, because you had asked me about favorite authors, is Edward Rutherford. He does family sagas and historical fiction like no other. He's incredible.
We love good family stories that run through the generations. I mean, honestly, they just sit heavier deep in your soul when there's just more than like, it's just my story. But no, it's like mine and everyone else's and then theirs as well. Oh,
do you enjoy cooking?
I love baking. I'm not a great, I like to cook. I really love watching Food Network. I'm kind of addicted to Food Network, but I don't really love the actual cooking. I just like to learn about it. But baking, I'm a pretty good baker. I've had people trying to get me to open a professional bakery. So and I'm really big on that stuff.
Everything but macaroons, right?
Yeah.
I have perfected the macaron and walked away from it.
They are so hard.
I got it right, and then I was done. It's like,
wait, the mac.
I did it. I'm through.
Yeah, because it's not about them being hard. It's time consuming.
Yeah, but you got to get the batter just right. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
Yeah,
a lot of work and a lot of time, a lot of waiting.
If I'm trying to do something and I can't get it right, I will go insane until I do get it right. So I probably made 30 batches of macarons before I decided that they were good. I know how to do it, and now I can stop. That's kind of what happened.
There you go. When we started this book club, the first book that was for me to choose, I chose 3 Mini Cooks.
Now, honestly, like going on and on about how great her books are always.
No. Well, I say this.
No, I'm just messing. They're always amazing.
Off of what Tasha said. So this is a book from a woman who was a food editor and all these things. Well, this book is written from her and her 2 daughters. So it's written the same as yours, where each chapter you're reading from a different point of view. So one chapter is the mother, the next is one daughter, and then after that is another daughter. And really amazing family stories. A lot of family stories kind of hit home with us. She also had a father who suffered from dementia. And at the end of the chapters, there's recipes. So we went and we would make the recipes, and then we would talk about those when we would talk about the chapters. And that book was a lot of fun.
Well, that was like an autobiography.
Yeah. So if you want to really fun read, that's a good one to check out.
That was cute. It was cute and
it's a hard book to find.
Okay. I need to read that. And Carol, thank you, darling. I loved London by Edward Rutherford. It's one of the best books I've ever read. So.
There you go.
It's fun.
Yeah, we got that straightened out.
So you're into baking, not cooking. Adriana's other book choice was all about cooking, and
this was our box for that 3 Mini Cooks.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Everything. Yeah.
I'm just into decorating. I want somebody to bake for me, and then I'll decorate it.
Well, I'm honestly kind of like that. If I'm baking cakes or cupcakes, my whole obsession is how it's going to be decorated. I don't really care that much about the cake, but I really need to make it look gorgeous. So I'm all about that.
I'm there. I'll get the box mix, but I make it look pretty.
See, I love baking, and I grew up Italian, Croatian. You know, my grandmother taught me how to bake, so we do a lot of rustic baking. Tasha is the cake decorator. I don't know where I'm pointing because this thing's backwards. Tasha is an amazing cake decorator and decorative baker. Absolutely incredible.
I want to see. I have been doing this stuff for years, like making my own flowers from gum paste and that kind of crud. So I would love to see. I am fascinated by cake decorating. You got to show her the
cake you did, the dragon cake.
I would love to see it. And I have to tell you also. Oh God, I lost my train of thought again.
Baking
cake decorating. What else did you say?
Rustic baking. No, I don't know.
No, I had some comment on it and I lost it. I'm sorry.
That was one of Tasha's cakes.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a dragon.
That's adorable.
That's cute.
Yeah.
And she did an amazing Coraline cake. She's there. It's her and her husband, and they are amazing.
Yeah, my husband does most of the baking because he likes to stir and mix and whip, and I don't. And I don't like to sit there in front of the oven either. I don't want to sit there and stare at it rising. I want it to get out and cool down so I can put it together. So he loves the baking part, which is perfect. And then, so he'll make everything taste good, and I just make it look good. But, once you cut through, it's not my fault.
We eat with our eyes, right?
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That is true. So I love the decorating, and I've done a lot of fun cakes, and I did something for Adriana before. And,
yes, she did a baby shower cake and a unicorn cake that had a bunch of sprinkles spill out of the center for my daughter's birthday.
Yeah,
she's
incredible.
That's
so cool. Yeah. Very cool.
You are among friends here with baking, that's for sure. Adrienne also does a lot of baking. She's into doing cookies and cream puffs and everything you want to shove down your throat and fatten up on, she does.
So do you watch the same baking shows I do, like Great British Baking Show? And baking,
and my husband's always like,
all the holiday baking championships.
All of it. Right now I got spring baking championship that I watch. I even like the kids cooking ones because my daughter gets into it.
Yeah, I learn from those kids every time. Yeah.
I even love watching guys' grocery games because I love to watch when they get these ingredients and then they just throw them together, and it's like, what would I do with that? And then they do something different. It's just so cool to watch. Yeah, I'm into all that.
I am totally into that too.
Yeah, like a chop.
Yeah.
Be fun to do
all the Food Network shows. Yeah.
They're super fun. They do such a good job. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, but I'm really going to have to go sometime soon.
Yep.
Please forgive me.
It is
fine.
We were trying to hold you as long as we could. We totally understand.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I didn't eat dinner for one thing, so I'm sorry.
Well, you got to go.
Well, we can let you go so that we can talk about how awesome you are. without you being in the room.
So you just can go on and watch us finish up here if you just need like a good ego boost because you know it's about to go down.
Tomorrow, just find the video and you will see how much you're loved.
And then Adrienne is going to be. Where is she? Adriana is going to be in contact about sending you a gift package. Thank you from the novel Bitches.
Yes. Thank you so much. I just absolutely love y'all. You're wonderful. And I've had such a good time with you.
We absolutely could not have asked for anything more. And we really appreciate your little surprise info there about your future book too.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Thank you so much for just being here with us.
Yeah.
Thank you. I had such a great time with you. Thank you, Rebecca. And listen, if there's any way, because I am going to have to jump off now, but if there's any way you can get a group shot of all of you, I would love to have that along with whatever pictures you had earlier from your swag box and everything else. I mean, you're just wonderful. So send them to me. We'll get them on the website, okay?
We will. Thank you
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Oh,
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Oh my God.
That happened.
I feel like I can like let my pants out now, like if I've been sucking it in for like an hour and a half.
No, you don't even know. I'm wearing Spanx. I put my prom dress on for this.
First of all, no one crowned you prom queen. So
excuse me, someone did.
No.
And someone crowned all of us.
Yeah, true that. True that.
I was going to show it, but I completely forgot.
Oh my God. I
did let out my pants a minute ago because I super have to pee. I actually got my water in today for keto.
Oh, it's time for Tasha Tinkles.
So it's time for Tasha Tinkles. Too bad you learned
Dominique.
Tasha Tinkles.
It's hold on. It's on general.
We should have like a little piano.
I had it on general.
Listen, Rebecca, it definitely doesn't fit like it used to. I definitely had smaller boobs then, so up here's a bit tight. I thought about letting the straps out, but listen, I'm in it. Okay, I'm in it.
Turn around. I want to see the whole zipper up.
Well, I have Spanx on, and you're not supposed to wear. You're not supposed to be wearing anything with this. Listen, I'm not shy. I have it on. I was 18 when I wore this. I'm not 18 anymore.
Oh, there you go.
The straps are here. I just didn't tie them. They kept coming loose.
Yeah, get it, girl. Okay.
But it's zipped, Anna.
What's the material? What's the material?
Spandex.
Stretchy. It has stretch. Fuck yeah, it has stretch. But I'm 36, y'all, so it's been a while.
I feel like the last hour and a half has been a blur. Like I just totally geeked out.
You're so sweet. Thank you, Rebecca.
She's awesome.
That was a lot of fun. Okay, but seriously, we already know that 2023, her book is going onto the calendar. So keep that, y'all.
You guys know what you're reading in 2023. Yes. So CJ, I went pee, but CJ comes and taps on the other side of the door, and he's like, "Oh my God, she's amazing!" Right. And I was like, "You're still married to me." So
I meant to ask her where at she was in Florida, because she said Gulf Coast, and she's in Alabama, which is right there.
Right.
She was talking about restaurants and the steak. I was going to tell her to go to McGuire's and get the filet.
Oh, sure she has.
She really has, yeah.
That would be so cool if she'd been over that way, because there's only two. It's not a chain. There's one in Pensacola and then one in Destin. They don't have them anywhere else.
Okay, so I want to know, for everyone watching, did she answer most or all of your questions that you just had to ask? There were so many popping up that it was hard for us to be able to obviously show every comment and every question, but I'm hoping that everybody was able to get what they really needed answered, or that she maybe touched on a subject that you kind of wanted to hear more about.
I think we did a pretty good job, though, of kind of addressing everything as it came through. And obviously she was paying attention.
And then she went back and answered some,
Loved that she was like, oh, I remember that question was like way back. And I'm like, you're better at this than us.
She like blew my mind. I was so excited all damn day, and then when it hit 5 o'clock, it felt like the time was not moving, and I just wanted to hurry up and like get on with her, and she just surpassed like all of my expectations.
And then some, yeah. Yeah.
And then like, how awesome is it that she thinks of us the way she does? That's incredible.
Oh, that like talk about like we were talking to her about ego boost.
Right.
Like,
well, it makes me feel, obviously I know we're doing something right because look at all the amazing women that we've met and this group that we have. But it's like for someone else to come in and just learn about us and still see that and feel that and see the attention to detail and pride that we put into what we do. That's an amazing thing.
It does feel good because she obviously is in contact with lots of book clubs and she does spend time with them and she knows what they do and what they offer. And it's cool that she, you know, felt like we were, you know, offering something slightly different or, you know,
glad
unique.
You found us.
I'm so glad we found you.
Yes. You complete me. So you know what we need to do is everyone needs to write a letter to someone somewhere about making this into a movie. Because this
the
book
only people that know anyone is her husband.
Okay, well, get on.
Well, he's leaving that business and go. No, he was.
Gotta hurry up. He better hurry up.
Sports and entertainment. I was in the movie, not him.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did.
No, I know, but I meant like with AD. Right? Maybe there's people.
I did wardrobe.
Oh, wardrobe. Okay, not makeup for that. All right.
I know. A lot of people think I did makeup because of my face.
I'm sure there's someone somewhere or some way that we can drop a letter because this movie really needs, I mean, this book needs to be turned into a movie.
I can imagine it too as a movie. Because like the whole time I was reading it, like even the hard parts, you're like, oh my God, I could see this.
And it has every characteristic of a great movie.
It does. And the way that it's written and it goes back and forth and it skips between voices and it then goes back even further on into the story to jump at the beginning of the story. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be so good on the screen.
Click it. Sorry.
If we need makeup artists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, if you didn't check out last week's live, where it was kids versus dads makeup challenge.
Yeah.
There were some beauty queens. And I'm not sure if you want to call them beauty queens in the pageant sense or if you want to call them beauty queens in
avant-garde
sense. Because
avant-garde. Picasso.
A little Picasso.
Definitely an abstract look. Yeah.
Listen, my husband was so fucking jealous. He was so mad. He was like, of course y'all do it the week I'm not there. And I was like, we've been trying. It didn't coordinate.
We'll do it again. Do it for you for tonight.
Well,
get you all dolled up.
Oh yeah, you could have had Manny do your makeup, your little prom.
Make it up.
No, birthday boy is playing video games, and I just went and did my thing, and then I wanted to take a nap.
The director, Ma, why didn't you ask that at the right time?
That would have been a good question.
I see. I wouldn't. I don't know.
Well, okay, just think of like a feel, like.
Well, it would be like a Notebook type of feel, which I think someone mentioned, like this surpasses the Notebook, but it would have to have that type of feel to it because it's that same kind of era.
Yeah. See, for me, it's not necessarily like just the director, but I am disgustingly into the score of movies, like movie scores, like an insane amount. So, like for me, it's like who's going to compose like all of the little music that fits in all of these little parts. And it's not just like the soundtrack, it's the score. Like who's going to compose this? And I'm like,
it's going to be Jack Black's character from The Holiday.
Oh,
he's going to write their theme songs.
By the way, The Holiday is on, which one is it? Is it Hulu right now?
I don't remember.
Is it?
Or is it Amazon Prime? One of them, Holiday. And I watched it like just a few nights ago because I finished this book and I was like sad about how I didn't have anything to read. So I watched The Holiday.
I can watch that movie like once a month. I love that
again
movie.
and again and again. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
J.J. Abrams did Alias, did I think is it Felicity?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes. There is a lot of TV shows that he did. And so I feel like I could get behind that for that. Because I love those TV shows.
Yeah, you definitely could do some of that. Well, honestly, Adrienne, I just want to say thank you for, first of all, choosing this book because as usual, you pick something that just surprises us in a very deep way. It's not just a story, but it's like you could live in it, and that makes us, appreciate it so much more.
So I'm not.
I'm gonna go to the other end, and I'm gonna say I'm a salty bitch that you keep picking all these good ones, and then you leave the rest of us out to dry, and then we're fucked for the rest of the year. Fuck you.
I'm not gonna thank you because you make. Wait,
your job
Desiree,
harder.
why did you change your name?
When I saw someone change on us.
Runner up. I'm done.
No.
Look, even when I didn't pick Mary Star Fiesta Queen, I was still the Mary Star Fiesta Princess. Okay, so runner up, I am not.
No, but we're just saying your books
It's been there a while.
have been amazing, and
she makes our job harder.
Hold on,
it gives me anxiety.
Look.
That's what I told Anna. I was like, if my next book that I have sucks ass, then I'm giving her my picks for the next year.
Yeah, but I don't know how my next book is going to be. But these are just the type of books that I enjoy. I like stuff like this. I obviously like things that also pertain to like food and family. But look at the books that you guys picked too, like Dominique Ostrichland. I would have never picked up that book, and I enjoyed it so much. You know what I mean? It was such a fun read. I would have never read Handmaid's Tale on my own.
That's
and I'm
true.
glad that I participated in that. Like we take each other out of our comfort zone to introduce new things, and to the rest of these women too. And so that's what
wannabe. I'm gonna change.
Wannabe.
You get a participation trophy. Thank you for coming, trophy.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, Adriana, thank you for choosing this story. And even more than that, for reaching out to these authors who do join us. Because of you, we get to experience more in the stories than what we've read. And we get to have like more of their history. And that is such an amazing feeling. Desiree.
Yeah.
No, fuck y'all. That's what it translates to.
Drac.
Okay. Well, in my Urban Dictionary, it's got something different.
So, speaking of what's to come, next we are reading The Scent Keeper by Erica Bauermeister. So that one is, May is a month of 5 weeks, but the first week is extra short. So we've decided to skip the first week for reading. We will have our first meeting on Mother's Day, and Erica Bauermeister will be our guest on that day as well, which is super cool. So we'll get just the beginning, a little taste of her story. And then she'll be joining us, which is really fun. So, and again, Adriana contacted her and got her all booked up for us. I mean, honestly, are you our PR?
Yeah, she is.
Sure.
Between you and Des, what can't we do as far as contacting people, dragging people into our book club, whether they want to be a part of it or not? Y'all know what is to come in the next few months.
At the end of the day,
book is going to be epic.
Yeah.
You'll know what that is come May 1st when we announce Desiree's book for June. And then just wait until June 1st when we announce Dominique's book. Oh, y'all.
Yeah.
I'll say I didn't choose this book. You guys chose this book.
Well, no, we put it out there and Dominique was like, mine. For that month, mine. That's what she did. So get ready. We have some really fun things coming. Not only we have books that y'all have maybe been waiting for, maybe not, authors that you're excited about. We've got visitors. We've got all kinds of fun stuff coming up soon. So as usual, thanks for joining us for this incredibly fun day. Oh my God. It's like meeting your favorite like author, right?
We just did.
Author, like, oh my God.
I told you, Michael Jackson died and Beth Duke took his place. Yes.
Thank you.
And I will forever be her Chet.
You don't have to make it sound so damn freaky though. You make it sound creepy. You don't have to be like,
but only those who read
you can take it how you want to take it, okay? Because some folks thought he was creepy and some didn't. So
she's either creepy or she's just protective.
Yeah. Well,
cares, loving.
Oh man. Y'all are so special.
Hey, are we
Done
gonna
with you.
rate it on here, or are we gonna do
Oh,
it in the
dude,
group?
yes.
What? Y'all don't even.
How many B's are we get? Wait, don't even say it. Don't say
Okay.
nothing yet.
Okay.
Let everybody put their rating
Listen.
first.
As usual,
He's
we
not
do-
here, so you guys can be honest.
Okay, you can be honest, but I think that the average is still going to put this shit up to the top if it's not what I think it is. But as usual, we do our rating at the end of every book, and we let you guys pick 1 to 5 bitches. 1 being the worst, 5 bitches being the best. What are you choosing out there, Rebecca? Is 10 bitches out of 5. I love it.
There, love it.
Yeah, double us up and add 2 more. I mean, I love it. Teresa gives it 5 bitches. Thank you very much, Teresa. And Vanessa was building furniture tonight, y'all. What did she miss out on? Like everything? Vanessa, rewind, watch it again.
Yeah.
Trust.
She said she's going to replay it.
Whatever
Yeah,
you miss, it's posted on YouTube. So
Yeah. Sherry gives it 5 bitches. Yes. Love it.
All right, ladies, throw it up.
Throw it up there.
Dude, without a doubt. Without Dominique.
yes, I'm there.
Without a doubt.
5 bitches, and out of 1 to 5 bitches, Beth being here was like 5,000. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
The only negative thing I have to say is that I just wish
What?
the book never ended. I just wanted to keep reading. That's it.
We're getting a follow
That
up.
and she
She
decided that she
did
needed to
say
go
though
eat
that she would come back. Somebody commented over here
Oh yeah.
something about it. She was like, "I'll be back."
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna have
First
2
of all-
books to come back for.
And
So.
she invited us to come have dinner out in Alabama.
Hello.
Just
Where
You
we
know what,
going?
you guys? I was about to tell her I'll be right across.
You're
the
not
bridge.
doing shit without
somebody
us.
mute her.
If I find out that you went and kicked
Nina,
it with my homegirl,
let's
Beth,
go!
watch. Watch what's gonna happen.
Not.
You might get pushed down a flight of stairs.
Well, remember, she is her Chet, so you gotta
Yes.
stay away.
You ain't kicking it with my
You're
homegirl, Beth,
freaky dicky, dude.
without me.
Settle down now.
Beth was
down.
so down to earth. I really liked her. I loved having her with us. Honestly, I mean, sorry, future authors, but you got a lot to live up to.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it's really cool though that she was so down to get on. And then just obviously she does this. This is what she said, is that this is what she's been doing, is getting on with book clubs. But still there's not been one.
Well, because she
Like
misses
what we've
her book
done.
club.
Yeah.
So I think that that's super cool. And
Yeah.
I can't wait for her to receive a box of all Clydes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, with a little bit of the mix of peach up in there.
Maybe a little peach.
Yeah. Just a few, because peach tea was not her first choice. So tea.
No,
We're
she's
sending
in
tea.
Alabama. It's sweet tea. We do not drink flavored tea down south. We drink sweet tea.
Oh,
Why
we
are you
don't.
saying we
Now
like
all of a
we?
sudden, you a Southern.
Yeah, we.
Excuse me.
You're a
I
transplant.
spent majority of the last how many years in Florida? Hell yeah.
No, first of all,
That's
I don't
home.
care. In some parts of Florida, well, you know what? Let me just shut my mouth because there's a whole lot of people viewing. But you, ma'am, as Southern as you get is Southern California. So comment on
Excuse
down.
me. In my heart.
In her heart, she's a
Okay.
Southern gal sipping sweet tea and sitting on a wraparound porch.
Got it.
You go do that.
Exactly. Florida doesn't count. What a dumbass.
So I'll leave my comments for later with you.
That's home. We're going back.
Oh
Uh-huh.
my goodness. Well,
I'll be right around
none
the
of
corner
you
from your
guys-
girl.
None of you guys have played this or that, have you?
No.
We have not done it. Well, I'm gonna right now because I'm
Okay.
We did when I posted. Remember?
No, bitch, I don't.
Oh,
Wendy, you're asking this one if she remembers. My nickname is Dementia, so
I posted. There was like 3 pictures. And so everybody, only a few people had like actually responded with it.
okay.
I'm only at that peach tea if it's at like Olive Garden, but they changed the recipe, so I don't like it anymore.
Oh my god, when Olive Garden used to put that frozen peach inside.
And then they changed it, so fuck them.
Oh, they sucked. Ever since I refuse to order any of their teas now.
No, I don't like to drink anything. I just get water now.
Oh, I just get booze now. So
Well, I used to like their peach Bellini, the frozen one, but I don't really.
All right, so we're gonna just go around here, and it's gonna be super fast. So we're gonna play a quick this or that with the bitches, and only because
You guys can post what you want to post.
what?
I was telling them that they can post what they want to post.
Oh yeah,
With an answer.
yeah. You can post your answers as well. This or that, bitches. All you out there, and you three. So let's do this. This or that, tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tea.
Recently, coffee.
I'm iced coffee. So
Oh,
Yeah.
hot or cold
Oh,
weather?
I'm sorry. Yes, iced coffee.
Yeah,
Cold.
hot or cold weather?
cold.
Hot.
Cold.
I'm too
Hot.
fat for hot.
Oof. Yeah. Thank you. I'm too fat for hot. Thank you. Thank you. City or country?
Country.
City.
Mm.
I know middle. I need a middle ground.
Thank
Beach.
you. I'm in the middle. I'm middle. I could do like 50% here, 50% there. All right. Morning person or night owl?
Night.
Morning.
Night.
Night. All righty then. Paperback, hardcover, or ebook?
Paperback.
Paperback.
Hardcover.
I don't give a shit if it's hardback or paper. I
No,
just
no,
wanna
but
hold
just
it.
pick one,
Look at
dude.
it.
No, I just want to hold it. Both.
You obviously don't know the game. Just
Not
shut your mouth
ebook.
and pick. No. This is a one-worded
I
answer
can't shut
game.
my mouth and pick, dummy.
Okay, next.
You
Can't
shut your
shut
mouth
your
when you're
mouth
talking
and
to me.
eat,
Okay. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
I love that one.
I loved it. All right. Pencil or pen, homies?
Pencil.
Pen.
Pen.
And
Very specific. 301. The zebra ones. Very specific.
Mute her.
Wow.
Just mute her. I'm just
Wow.
done with her today.
I like the OG all
Oh,
black Bic.
rude.
I like the OG all black Bic. Like,
I don't.
I
Yes.
used to.
Yes. I do not like gel pens because they smear and that just annoys the crap out of me.
Right? Exactly. Oh, look at this. Coffee. Bitch, stop it.
Coffee, cold country morning. She wants to
Your way
be
leg.
Dude,
in the
that
cold
sounds like
country
the
in the
perfect
morning with her
vacation.
coffee and her paperback book.
Yeah.
That's what she wants. Just
This
like
is
that.
the start to her novel.
That
Coffee,
is
cold
the
country morning
perfect vacation,
paperback.
Rebecca.
just
What are
helped
you going to
Rebecca.
write about next in your novel? Coffee, cold country morning paperback.
That-
Girl, I want to
she-
read your first chapter at the end of this week.
It's
There
going
we
to be
go.
called Book Club.
Next.
All right. Cake or pie?
Cake.
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 Unless it's cherry pie, and that hits it. I'm sorry.
Unless it's the old school pies that used to be 25 cents, the little ones.
No.
See, I like cream
Marie
pies.
Callender's has their Kahlua
Cream
pie.
pie.
I've never
Oh.
had them. I never
Look, we all picked cake, and all of us are going on about pie.
about
I
pies.
always said
We're
pie.
ridiculous.
Well, the Kahlua pie is almost like a cake.
That's true. Hardcover, but I buy paper. Yeah, I know. That's like
It's always cheaper.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad. She was not like the how easy it is to hold while you're
Yeah.
reading.
Right. All right.
I
Next.
love how the hard covers look.
But
Right.
those always come out first.
See,
so
but
they're
I don't
always
like
get
how
more
the covers come off the hard covers.
That's the thing. It's
tape them.
cumbersome.
Anyways,
Anywho, next.
breakfast or dinner?
Ooh, I like both. I like steak and
I've-
eggs.
One.
Oh
That's
yeah.
so you can have it at dinner time.
breakfast.
Dinner.
I want waffles. I want
Dinner,
waffles.
dinner.
I want French toast. Mm.
Have it at dinner time.
Small hands. What did that say?
Because it's
I
the
probably
holding the
pick
book.
breakfast because I
It's
like
the
the
holding
salty
the book.
Comments are
I
going
get
so fast. Mine is not showing all of them. It's like
No, with small hands with the book, holding
Our
it. that's
delay
what-
is very short right now, so it's.
I
bothering me.
understood. I understood her.
Read in
no,
bed
my-
or read
it
on the
went up
couch.
and down. I didn't see it.
Read in bed or read on the couch.
I like reading on the couch.
Bed.
In bed.
Bed, because it's easier to kick people out of my room.
I have my
Those
book
lunch.
light clipped to my bed frame.
Well, you know what
All
I've
right.
noticed? Hold on. I've noticed if I read like in the living room, because I do read in bed sometimes, but if I read in the living room and stuff, and then when I come to bed, like changing my location to come to sleep, I relax better. If I'm
relax
reading in
better.
bed and stuff, and then I put, my book down, it's like I'm still in the same place, and then everything's running through my head. You're not changing. They say like to never like do work and things in your bed if you want to get a good night's rest. So I like
See,
to
I'm the
read on the
opposite.
couch.
If I leave from anywhere, I go to my bed and then I wake up.
Hmm.
I'm the same way.
Flavio.
I did that last
the
night.
night owl. That's why you're a night
Did
owl.
you see? She wants to be in bed with Flavio.
Oh,
What's Flavio? Is that Fabio?
Maybe spell correct.
Oh my god.
Read him a chair. That's like a couch. Like a chair.
Okay, but does everyone remember when Fabio was on all of the little short book covers?
He's gross. I would have never picked up either one of those books, like any of them.
All right, next up, fireplace or bonfire?
Bonfire.
Bonfire.
Fireplace.
Oh, most of us are bonfire because we're a little SoCal.
They don't really do bonfires in Florida. They don't do them on the beach. Nothing like that.
Next.
That's because y'all have so many chemicals up on your beach. It's fire.
Like explode.
Is
Yes.
that why she didn't like
Rebecca?
Momoa either?
Yes. He took my scrunchies and he used all my conditioner. Rude.
It's gonna make her husband bald.
The only thing I do not like about the
Sean
bonfire
is bald,
that he is.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Oh shit! I never thought about it. There you go. We're perfect.
That is so funny.
He's perfect for me because he has no hair.
Yeah.
Don't take my product.
Any fire will do. Again, Florida doesn't count. Mom says fire anywhere.
Y'all are crazy. Florida only counts when y'all want to talk about the dumb shit they do. That's the only time y'all want to say they count.
Like Florida man?
Yeah, whatever it is. Whatever it is.
Okay,
Florida
next.
man does this today. That's an everyday occurrence. Okay. Library or bookstore?
Bookstore.
Bookstore.
Library.
Bookstore.
Yeah,
I want to know
bookstore.
what y'all think. I can't wait for that answer.
Yeah.
Because Sherry's a librarian, so
You have
what does she pick?
all the crazy books. Well, I'm thinking of like the downtown LA library where
Yeah.
you have
Okay,
everything you can imagine.
That's true. That is true. I just like how much quieter and less crowded like a bookstore is, though. Libraries are, I don't know. Maybe it's just when I go.
We gotta go to the downtown library. It's beautiful.
But when you have a well-designed library, I mean, some of the most beautiful buildings in the world are libraries. So I totally understand that.
Yeah.
I feel like mine is mainly because I just want to buy it. I don't want to rent it. I want it to be mine.
You want to
Right.
own it, right? You're like, I'm not borrowing this. I'm going to keep it. So if you let it leave your building, it's not
Exactly.
coming back.
Right.
Right. The feel of bookstores, right?
Anything else?
Yes, we have sweet tea or peach tea.
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
Peach tea. Sweet tea or peach tea, bitches.
I said
Yeah,
sweet tea.
No, I didn't mean you. I was saying
Oh.
out there. I said bitches and CJ. But
Got it.
peach tea. Thank you, Rebecca.
What do you mean, and CJ? Bitches.
Rebecca and I are gonna jump
That's
into that haunted house
rude.
and drink
That is
sweet
rude,
peach tea
Desiree.
together.
That's rude.
And you know, we're gonna
CJ
put in our
down.
peach tea frozen peaches, and then we'll walk around a haunted house together. Rebecca.
All right, y'all can go. Me and Syl are gonna be back in our Airbnb, not haunted, drinking sweet tea with like a warm, cozy book.
Well, I'll be in the
think it's
haunted
not
house,
haunted.
poking out to scare the shit out of you two walking through the haunted house with my regular tea. How about that?
Yeah, see, I'll take plain tea, but I want that frozen ass peach inside. Yeah.
It's all
Nicer tea is
As I'm done.
coffee. Yes, we'll start out on Twitch, so enjoy.
Okay.
Oh, let me look.
Peach whiskey!
It did. It started out, CJ. No one knows what you said, bitch.
Jesus.
CJ and Desiree are clearly brothers.
Rebecca, I will buy you your own.
But you called it a shiwi?
That's it. They have those. They are called shiwi. There's also the Go Girl, which is what I
Go
have.
girl.
Oh my god, I did not know that shiwi. I thought she made that shit up.
No, nope.
She uses it when she wears her vajay toupee.
Listen, Rebecca,
I forgot about the
JK. Go girl. I think that you just need like the Depends that was used at the Fairfield old lady place. You'll be better off.
Wow. All right, and finally, backyard barbecue or 5-star steakhouse.
Backyard barbecue all day.
It depends on whose backyard
But
barbecue.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Dominique, did you guys ever go to what's it called? Down right literally right downstairs from AEG's at Fleming's?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
But that was tasty. I went there with Dominique. I took Aiden.
yes. Because Aiden is obsessed with steak and he loved that place. But that place, you buy your $50 steak separate from your $40 potato.
Oh yeah.
And your $50 greens.
So
Everything is worth it.
Yep.
But real quick, so we went to
Everything.
the Flemings in Newport when Houston came back from Iraq. He was like a little tiny 18-year-old kid. We went to Flemings. He got like the 18-ounce porterhouse, whatever. He ate it up within a few minutes. And then the person who took us, his big brother, he was like, "Do you want another one?" He's like, "Sure." And then he ate another one. 2 18-ounce big old thingies.
You need to go to Texas and eat that steak that
72 ouncer?
Well, this is from coming from like big
I just want to
starving.
see a 72-ounce steak.
I would do a steak challenge. You cook it right.
They're in San Antonio.
Oh, down.
What was that? What was that movie? The out with John. No, were they
Not finishing
camping?
anything. The Out with John.
John. Okay, the outhouse, not outhouse. Out. Okay, it was John. Not John
I watched that
Candy.
movie.
Not John. Oh, what was it called? Oh gosh. What was
Oh
his
my
name?
God, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I know you know. I know you know. Aykroyd. What's the Aykroyd
Dan
guy?
Aykroyd?
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd.
Uh-huh.
There's a
John
bear.
Goodman?
Mom, what's it called? Outdoors.
Not out.
Out of the
Oh,
Hold on, folks.
Great Outdoors.
the Great Outdoors.
The
And then he
Great
eats-
Outdoors!
And then he eats that big.
Really
He
loud.
eats that big steak, right?
Yes, he does, and he's like sweating and
It's
stuff.
like
You got like the meat sweats.
yes. Oh my gosh,
PJ knows,
Adrian, if you
PJ
ever do
knows.
that challenge, I would do that challenge here at my house for you.
There we
Just
go.
watch it happen.
That's what we need to do.
It's a keto challenge, so that would be okay. But you
Let's
don't
do
get
it. Let's
to
do
go with
it.
Yeah. It's a heart
Unless
attack
someone beats your
challenge.
ass for trying to bite it.
I'm down.
Well, ladies, it has been an evening.
It has been the best evening. I mean, no offense to every other evening, but this one is like right now my favorite.
That was good.
I feel like I just went to like a great concert.
I
And
feel
you're,
like
coming
Disneyland
down.
opened
It's keto.
and I got to ride all my rides without waiting in line.
Oh
And then I got to eat all of my treats without paying for them.
With no calories, you mean?
Like churros and popcorn.
you have to eat the treats without getting.
garlic fries and a Monte Cristo. And then you get the Dole pineapple whip. I'm just saying, I got all of those things today. And then I feel like I got a smoke break after, and I haven't smoked in 8 years.
Oh
So-
shit! All right.
Okay.
And
Before
from
we
the
get
fireworks
off,
show?
should we talk about this movie
Oh,
to do for Sunday? Should we do that?
sure.
Well, we can we'll post it so everyone has the title and everything.
Okay, so we're talking about Muscle Shoals on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for everyone out there, we will post this on our Facebook page for the group that we're all going to be watching Muscle Shoals this week on Netflix, and then we're going to report back on Sunday. So
You know
do
what else
not
will
forget, it's Sunday is not the first meeting for the Scent Keeper. The following Sunday is. So we will be meeting May 9th for that with our author.
Yes.
You know what else we'll be able to discuss after that? On that day? What happened on like Wednesday? Anyone?
Handmaid season 4.
What's up?
Oh God.
There will
Okay,
be
but if
3
anybody out there-
episodes.
Y'all, they're dropping 3 episodes at once. And Hulu has included a new watch party. If you have Hulu,
Oh wow.
together.
And your unboxing?
Oh, our unboxing
there's
is
lots this
Tuesday. Tuesday is our unboxing at 6:30 p.m. Get ready because Honestly, I can already smell our boxes for Tuesday. Am I right?
Mine is sitting right next to me at my desk.
Yeah. I smell.
Okay. These two bitches.
Oh, rude.
And this one, these two bitches don't have their box yet, so they haven't
No,
smelled anything. They don't even know.
We don't.
I'm going to drop their boxes off tomorrow, so they got to wait.
I've not sniffed anything, by the way. I put it away.
Oh, good. Well, if you take a little sniff on the outside of your box, ladies, for those of you who didn't wait and opened them already, could you smell them from the outside of the box and just went?
Good job, Rebecca.
But you're in your office all day. Isn't that kind of like...
He just sits there and watches. Put like googly eyes on the box.
I can't smell anything.
Like stares back at her, right? No scent?
I don't think so. It smells like box.
That's because the box is a scent keeper. It's keeping the scents.
Okay, calm down there, Aristotle over here.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you, bitches. Thank you, Adrienne, for setting up such an incredible Sunday for us. I can't wait for more of these, but this one really is one for the books, and I really appreciate it personally. So,
well,
thank
you guys
you.
are all welcome.
And everyone else, I hope you guys finish up your Sunday night in a wonderful way. Go have a drink, have a snack, watch a show, watch Muscle Shoals, whatever it is. But cheers with our Novel Bitches glass here.
Yes.
I finished mine twice, and that's why I had to pee. So, not because there was booze in it.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Good night.
We will see you guys Tuesday night for the unboxing of the Scent Keeper. Have a good night, ladies.
Good night.
Bye.